This is a Cosmic Octave original podcast.
Me and Jake running down the street with a handful of comic books, kicking ass and banging chicks and drinking booze
No, not
and
me.
smoking
Not
weed.
me. I'm married.
Yeah,
I'm
well,
married.
Jake.
Can't do that.
Yeah. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.
What's up, everybody? A rare Friday release, and I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking, episode 67, why did it take so long to this get uploaded? Where was the episode on Monday? Well, all 5 of you, I do want to apologize. Some tech difficulties is what happened, and it was a situation that I didn't think would be a problem. Turned out it was. We recorded a whole 2-hour episode, and the file got corrupted and got lost into the ether, as it goes with technology. So I do apologize for that. So to make up for it, Tyler and we didn't have a chance to meet this week because I'm going to be going off to record our Halloween episode. So things got a little jumbled in our schedule, but we will figure things out. So I thought, and he thought, that it would be a good idea to just, since he's got his own recording equipment, to just record our thoughts separately and just kind of put them together. And I want to talk a little bit about episode 8 and episode 9 of She-Hulk. I'll also put together his thoughts on episode 8 and 9, and we'll also do Andor. And that'll be pretty much it for this week, since I have to go record the Halloween episode. We're also going to have a throwback episode. Way back in February of 2021, when we used to do Tinfoil Radio, we did a whole episode about how the Snyder Cut created this like cult-like mentality. And it's actually a pretty interesting episode, giving how the stuff that came out about Warner Brothers regretting releasing it and feeding these trolls and all this other stuff, where we kind of talked about that a lot. So it is kind of a weird time capsule. I think I said some harsh things about Ray Fisher, and then I apologized for it later on this show. And now I don't think I'm back to disliking Ray Fisher, given the new information. Yeah, it's kind of crazy how that whole stuff occurred, and maybe we'll talk more about it on this episode. But it's an interesting throwback episode for you coming up on Monday. So we're releasing this on Friday and then giving you an episode on Monday. That's how we're making up for the mistakes that we made. Content. And then, Black Adam, and then Halloween special. So it's going to be an interesting couple weeks here on the podcast. So let's get into what you're here to listen or watch if you're watching us on YouTube. Welcome back to another episode of Tinfoil Radio. You're going to enjoy the ending of this episode. We'll just put it this way. Instead of doing a cold open, we did something a little different, and the outro to this is going to be hilarious.
This doesn't bode well for the actual content of the episode.
I mean, we will get into some serious stuff.
We're going to start this podcast, but trust me, you're going to love it when it's over.
Just skip to the end.
You know
Fuck
what?
it. Just go to the end of it. This isn't worth your time.
Not like you get any information from us anyway.
Yeah. But this topic is kind of silly. It does get into dark territory, but overall, it's kind of ridiculous. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to do something where we dissect, because we talk about, like propaganda and what we did with OAN in the Newsmax episode, and I really liked going into that kind of an episode, that kind of approach. But
we have to have palate cleansers.
Yeah, but this isn't super serious. I mean, there's some disgusting things on Twitter that, some really horrible things that we'll talk about.
Now, we talked... Continue. Sorry.
Well, I'm not convinced these aren't like some bots, because there's been a ton of accounts that have supported this movie,
right?
That have shown up that are all like some sort of MCU character, like the Nightmare Batman or Doomsday.
You mean DCEU?
Yeah, DCEU. But they're not like real accounts. They're like bot accounts.
Yeah.
And those things. It's just so ridiculous how they can spin conspiracy theories when it's just like, hey, the movie sucked. You don't need to go to this level.
Well, okay, so real quick, I brought this up when I came over, and I said, hey, can we talk about Joss Whedon, because we know now that he's a total piece of shit. And you said, well, I don't know, because does it pertain to this movie? And you're right, it doesn't. But Joss Whedon, I've always thought Joss Whedon was a hack. I never really liked any of his stuff.
What about the Avengers movie?
Every time I watch it,
I'm not defending him, by the way.
No.
I'm trying to.
Every time I watch it, there's it's still a great movie, but there's just so many like winks and nods, and that kind of shit that he does is just like, shut up, man. If I get it, you grew up the same time I did, you fuck.
Listen, I think,
but don't you think he
hold
fucked
on.
it up? Sorry,
I want to make it clear with this episode. I think that the recent news about Joss Whedon, and you can look it up for yourself. And we're not going to repeat what was said, because if what she said is true, Joss Whedon is a fucking horrible human being. That is no way to treat someone. And I'm not saying that he did, with the Ray Fisher stuff, because we're going to get into that.
Right.
Just because he did it to this person doesn't mean he did it to someone else.
He's
I
saying
think they're
there's
individual
no direct
stories.
Right. There's no direct correlation, and you're right. There's no direct correlation between what's going on with Joss Whedon right now and what we're talking about today.
I have nothing against her coming out and defending Ray Fisher, because if those things did happen to her, then I can understand why she would believe him, and that's totally understandable.
Right, but here, what I'm trying to say is, like, I mean, when you watch the finished, Justice League, the one that they put on the theaters, when you watch
the theatrical,
you can tell which parts are Whedon parts.
Yeah, it was it was a Frankenstein of a
movie.
And
to be really honest, I fucking hate Whedon parts. And guess what? Guess which part was a Whedon part? The part that Momoa has discredited since, where he gets the lasso.
Oh, saying that he wanted to fuck Wonder Woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's totally a fucking Whedon part, dude.
Yeah.
Because he's a creep. Look at him.
I mean, look at
He looks like me.
All right, so what we're talking about today is...
He thought, I can only get laid if I'm a creep to everybody. Yeah. And it's like, no, dude. You can have a great personality like me.
We got a long way to go. We'll get there. Yeah. So what we're going to be talking about today is how Zack Snyder's Justice League has created a toxic fan base, some would say a cult, within the fandom. And...
masturbatory.
I'll be honest. I don't
just love yelling that.
I don't think people that actually want to see Zack Snyder's Justice League, most of them are normal people that aren't super into this and super ingrained in this kind of like dig their heels in mentality. Right. And I'm one of them. Like, I legitimately want to watch this movie because I want to
see what. Yeah, but here's
just. I mean, it's not. That's not the point. That's a normal reaction, and right. We're not talking about those people.
Look, we're fanboys, okay? It's not that hard to figure out by now. I mean, Jesus.
But we're saying that it was okay to like this movie or want to see this movie.
I still liked the Daredevil movie and Green Lantern. Why? Because it was Green Lantern and Daredevil. Yeah, they were terrible movies, but it was like, hey, that's shit that I like that nobody else used to. Now everybody likes comic books.
But now we've been spoiled with such great comic book movies.
Let me just say this, too. There's been a lot of reshoots and added fucking material since the idea of the Snyder Cut has been greenlit by Warner Brothers, like officially.
Yeah, they put a lot of money into this.
Yeah. So, is it really the Snyder Cut? I mean, is he trying to say this is what I would have done if I had had the time,
I don't know.
or if that hadn't happened to my family?
Yeah, but also I think his mentality was he thought this movie was going to change cinema. The fact that
it sounds like George Lucas fucking with the original fucking Star Wars movies, dude.
Yeah,
like, hey, you fucked up the first time. You don't get a second shot.
And that's kind of.
And you know what? A New Hope was just fine the way it is, dickhead. Fuck. Sorry.
I mean, we're a little less than a month away from Zack Snyder's 4-hour
You're like moving on.
masturbatory epic, the Snyder Cut of the Justice League. And now again, I want to reiterate, I want to see this movie. I do think it's going to be interesting, but
masturbatory.
But masturbatory and this edgelord shit, I'm over this era, and I'm glad this is the end for him. I really do. I think Zack Snyder has taken enough of a shit stain on the superhero genre. He can leave, but that doesn't mean I'm going to make all these, toxic Twitter accounts, fake bots about it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Did you know the hype around the movie is filled with conspiracies? Today we're talking about the zealotry of Snyder's fan base and how they believe studios tried to silence the film and a whole lot more, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, building Snyder's DCEU, we're going to go way back. We're going to start with the Man of Steel because I think it's important to lay the groundwork of the fan base that starts with Snyder's the Snyderverse of the DCEU.
Let's start with a couple things. First, Man of Steel I thought was very well done.
I enjoyed Man of Steel.
I know that people came out almost immediately and were like, did you realize that almost $1 trillion would have been done in damage? Shut up. It's a fucking movie.
Would have killed thousands of people?
Shut up. It's a movie. Did I like the ending? Not really. But seriously, like I remember when that trailer came out for Man of Steel. And I was just like, I was jizzing in my pants. I was like, this sounds awesome. The voiceover by Russell Crowe. The idea that like somehow gravity he's using power, or he's using a gravity power to fly, like when they show the
lifting off
the little fucking
the
rocks
Hans Zimmer
and
score
shit
is great.
Yeah, dude. And by the way, thank you very much, Zack Snyder, for the super long beginning with all the fucking Krypton shit. That was awesome.
I did like all the.
That was fucking badass, dude.
And that's what I'm saying. Like Man of Steel, I enjoyed. I think it wasn't really Superman, but
they're trying to do the gritty thing.
I think at this point you just have to accept this whole thing as a Elseworlds universe,
right? And that's okay because Elseworlds is really fucking good.
Yeah, but
some of the best stuff DC's put out consistently over the last 3 decades.
Yeah. So the start of the story really goes all the way back to 2013. Marvel had already changed the superhero blockbuster genre with the Avengers the year before and already announced that they were doing a sequel. So Marvel was set to go full steam ahead with their phase 2 of movies, and DC felt like they had to step up their game to compete with Kevin Feige and the MCU.
But the problem is that they started with a guy who's a flake. I mean, I think Snyder had an idea, but Feige, like I don't know what he has that they haven't found over at DC EU yet. I don't know what it is, but he is just really good at creating consistently good quality entertainment that not only is good but satisfies fans. Like, you know, it satisfies the fans.
Yeah. Quite honestly, I've never been a big Superman guy. I've always been Batman, Green Lantern. That's kind of just been my bread and butter. So
I'm tired of Batman.
I didn't hate his version of Superman, but I could also see why people that have read Superman comics have been lifelong Superman fans, how they could feel like it wasn't the Superman they believe in.
Sure, but look, here, you know,
I made it sound like a religion.
If the DC, obviously we'll cover this. It's history right now. Like, you probably know about all this stuff, and we'll cover this more in depth, but if they had done, a Superman and then done the Wonder Woman movie, and then maybe like a Batman one or maybe an Aquaman one, and then done, the way Marvel did it, it might have worked out. Because as we saw, I thought Ben Affleck was great as Batman. I really did.
I liked Ben Affleck as Batman.
The Aquaman movie was good and fun.
I think
Wonder Woman, the first one, was good and fun. I mean, they were good movies.
Hey man, I'll be honest.
They were on par with MCU movies.
Wonder Woman 1984 is another example of DC's weird DCEU, man, because
I didn't mind it.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't hate it, but I could see how lifelong fans of Wonder Woman would hate it.
I guess.
Now, again, if this were Batman and they did what they did with those movies, I'd probably be upset.
Look, everybody remembers that Michael Keaton wanted everybody to everybody wanted Michael Keaton.
I like the movie, but I think
I saw that in the theater. But did you know that?
Yeah, I think it's
opening day, bitch.
To me, it's a lot like The Last Jedi, where I value everybody's negative opinions because I think they're valid. But I also you have to understand that I accept that and just enjoy the movie. That's
right.
Sometimes
what did I want? I wanted to see a Star Wars movie in the theater, and guess what I got? I saw a Star Wars movie in the theater. I can't really ask for much more than that. Looking back on it as a whole, yeah, it's fucking garbage. And I hate J.J. Abrams more and more each day.
We're not going to talk about the last.
Yeah,
Jedi.
We're not going to talk about that. Anyway, the point is that the Elseworlds thing is a comic book. Just for our listeners who don't know, it's a series of one shots, sometimes limited series, but they all take. Like Red Sun, for example, is one of the most famous ones, and it basically posits what would happen if Superman had landed in the Soviet Union.
Here's what I don't understand about.
So then they extrapolate from that.
This whole Snyder Cut saga, because this.
But Marvel's gonna
just listen to me.
Yeah.
Listen to me.
Yeah, sorry.
What they don't understand about that is they went such a different direction with how they should have gone. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like just to approach. Well, those movies are fun and light and poppy and easy
Shazam was great.
They're just popcorn flicks, right?
Right.
But that's the thing. They didn't realize until after Snyder was gone that like, hey, this is when the movies got better. Yes, Wonder Woman is the exception because that did come out before Justice League. But like Wonder Woman, Aquaman, those movies work because Shazam was my favorite DCEU movie because it knows what it is. It has fun in the genre without fucking going edgelord.
Yeah, I mean,
but again,
it was excellent.
Some people are into that shit. I don't know. So we bring in Zack Snyder's DCEU. This originally started back in June 2013 with Man of Steel, as we mentioned before. The budget was $225 million and made $668 million at the box office, which still seems kind of low for a Superman movie at the time. But I guess people just had been snake bitten by DC so many times. Maybe they didn't want to see the movie. So the movie was profitable despite its mixed to negative reviews from critics and fans, which, this is a very dividing movie.
Oh, boy.
Either you like it or you don't. And again, I think if you don't, it's totally understandable.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
I think Henry Cavill is a great Superman.
I love Henry Cavill as Superman.
He
looks like Superman.
Fucking shit. Yeah, right?
Yeah. And if he was actually given good material, I think he could really deliver.
He's a good actor.
Yeah. So this would give Snyder a second chance at making a movie about Krypton's last son. However, this wouldn't be a traditional sequel.
And here's where they fucking fuck it all up.
It was amazing to watch this train wreck. So at the 2013 San Diego Comic-Con, DC announced at their Hall H panel that Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice would be their next movie and set the grander DCEU releasing in 2015. Set the tone. It's funny because this is the panel that was introduced by the guy who's the Colonel in Man of Steel.
Lennox?
Yeah, he was in The Matrix.
Lennox, Harry Lennox.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be. Are we going to talk about that later? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, he was supposed to be, and according to most reports, they have put those scenes back.
Yeah.
So that we are going to see Martian Man. So that in itself, a lot of the reshoots, except for fucking Jared Leto, man, just go away, man. Just go away. Except for that shit with his bullshit. I'm excited to see all the new shit. I'm excited to see Darkseid.
But they had
I'm excited to possibly see a Jon Stewart or maybe a Green Lantern.
So we have him coming out and he's doing the speech from the end of The Dark Knight Returns where Batman beats Superman saying, "I want you to remember, Clark. I want you to remember the day when a normal man beat you." And so then it's like, what? And they show the logo with the bat and the Superman S. And Snyder was set to direct BVS and the sequel, Justice League, which was actually, if you remember, supposed to be in two parts.
If they had done BVS without killing Superman, like if they had done it and then at the end of it, it was like, okay, well, you know what? We got to work together now.
Yeah.
Right?
And again, this is something that
And then Justice League. Do another Superman alone movie.
Because it was such a divided response to Man of Steel that this is where I think the seeds of this fandom grow.
I've enjoyed
and these conspiracy theories arise because it was, like I said, there was either someone that enjoyed it but isn't. There's three types of fandoms, I think. People that hate it, people that really don't care. There's people that enjoyed it but understand why other people thought it sucked, and then it's just like this giant drop off a cliff and the fucking Snyder cult.
So it's basically like the way I would put it is there's people who worship shit, there's people who like shit, and there's people who hate shit.
I definitely think that it was such a weird, and you know, I see this more and more with more. Well, this also reminds me a lot of the Star Wars fandom right now because they're such a just terrible, toxic,
steaming pile of garbage masquerading as human beings.
What? Whoa! And again,
wow.
We're specifically talking about a very specific set of people.
We're talking about the assholes who forced Kelly Marie Tran off of social media. Those fuckers.
Yeah.
Those guys who are like, I don't like the movie because there's somebody not white in it. I mean, go fuck yourself, dude.
And, you know, the thing is, and I want to make it very...
There's a woman in the lead.
I want to make it very clear. When we're talking about the people that we're really talking about, we are talking about what we said earlier with those fake bot accounts that have some sort of DCEU character as their profile image, that have, like, 0 follow... Like, they created it a week ago. They're like these troll farms kind of thing. And... those people are what we're really upset about. I don't even care if you make YouTube videos talking, like, defending the movie or wanting the movie to come out. I don't care about that. It's fine. Be excited about a movie. I'm not saying being a fan of this is bad. And I'm saying when you fucking put death threats and mock someone's suicide, it's kind of fucked up. So we'll get there, believe it or not. Batman v Superman, the film was set to be released in 2015 with Snyder co-writing the screenplay with David S. Goyer. Now, David S. Goyer has made some good comic book movies.
Oh, yeah.
He wrote Blade, all the Blade movies. The third one's kind of meh, but he wrote all those movies. I think he did an okay job with... there's a couple other, I just don't have them in front of me, but... So he's been making comic book movies for a while, but this is very important because he did make a previous comment about a Batman versus Superman movie back in 2006. He said, quote, Batman versus Superman is where you go when you admit to yourself that you've exhausted all possibilities, an admission that this franchise is on its last gasp, end quote.
You know how way cooler a Brave and the Bold movie would have been?
Oh, yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Now, I do say, you know, there are things about the DCEU that are looking up, because if I'm not mistaken, Jeff Johns is still, you know, kind of at the helm, and he is a very solid comic book guy, but they need a television and movie guy.
I think
the Green Lantern series coming out, I really hope it's based a lot on the Grant Morrison recent run, where it's more of like a Law and Order procedural with the cops.
Yeah.
Green Lanterns are the cops. Like, that sounds fucking cool to me, dude.
Well, I think that's... I don't know
what it's going to be.
What they're doing for HBO Max, but that would be cool.
It's called Green Lantern Corps last time I heard.
Yeah, it's...
But if they based it off that, I've always thought that it would be really cool to do like a Law and Order style show on Coruscant for like Star Wars.
Now that makes me want to do a comedy skit where it's cops, but it's Green Lanterns.
I got a great idea for a comedy skit. Okay.
But anyway, in December 2013, Chris Terrio was hired to rewrite the script due to Goyer's commitments to other projects. Further commenting on the influences, Terrio revealed in an article published by the Wall Street Journal that the movie would draw inspiration from Nolan's Batman trilogy, Italian...
Semi-autician.
There you go. Umberto Eco's 1972 essay, The Myth of Superman, and the W.H. Auden poem, Musée des Beaux-Arts.
Musée des Beaux-Arts.
Musée des Beaux-Arts is French.
Oh, my God.
All right, we had to stop recording because Tyler ordered some pizza in the middle of the podcast.
Now I'm a fat bastard.
Yeah. So they were basing it on the Dark Knight trilogy,
on all that stuff
Umberto
that we just
Eco's
said.
essay, all that stuff. So it contrasts the idea of the idea of normal people's lives with these epic, like, godlike characters fighting and destroying their cities, which on paper sounds like a cool idea, you know? And I like the idea where it went. And honestly, the opening to BVS, from Bruce Wayne's perspective, was actually pretty good and pretty well done. Like, I really liked that. And then it just kind of sort of goes downhill for me. Mm-hmm. And there's still moments that I really like in that movie, but there's definite moments where I'm like, why is Batman branding people? Like, shit like that. But different story for a different day.
Yeah, that was a good good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot more than I did Justice League, but Justice League is not bad, the original one. I mean, if you can get past the Frankenstein aspects of it.
So I think according to Tarot, he said, quote, in superhero stories, Batman is Pluto, god of the underworld, and Superman is Apollo, god of the sky. That began to be really interesting to me that their conflict is not just due to manipulation, but their very existence, end quote.
I'll bet you anything that Chris Terrio's parents spent a lot of money on that liberal arts degree. In November 2013, Warner Brothers announced that the movie would be released on July 17, 2015. In January 2014, however, the studio announced that it was delayed from its original release date and moved to May 6, 2016 in order to give the filmmakers, quote, time to realize fully their vision, given the complex visual nature of the story. And we can read that as, nobody knows what the fuck is going on, so we're not giving anybody else any more money.
And this is, again, I think this is the beginning.
Until we get a plan.
The beginning of people starting to really dig their heels in on the Snyderverse. Because I think a lot of people reacted with, well, this already sounds like a trouble production. It already feels like they threw this together last minute to compete with Marvel. So it just didn't, unlike the Avengers that felt organic because you had spent the time with those characters, they're running into problems because they're bringing in Batman, but then they had to explain how Flash is involved, and Aquaman, and Wonder Woman, and all these things, and when they could have solved this in one other movie.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Zack Snyder wanted. I think Zack Snyder wanted to make a Batman movie, but was painted himself in this corner that he already saddled up with Superman. So then he had to make, well, I guess, because if you look, Zack Snyder's writing of Superman is terrible. Or not necessarily his writing, but the direction of it, because he didn't write any of these scripts. But, yeah.
The release date was moved once again in August 2014 from May to March 25th, 2016, with the Warner Brothers insider, who is now fired, saying the studio was, quote, not flinching in regards to the previous opening date being on the same day as Marvel Studios' Captain America Civil War, but instead stating that March 2016 was a fantastic quarter for them. So they wisely looked at that and they said, no fucking way are we going to outgross Civil War. Dude, no
but it should.
Fucking way.
But here's the thing, on every metric it should, because it's their two biggest properties. It's Batman versus Superman. First time it's ever been in a movie, right? That should be enough to do this. But and you know, it just didn't, and that's the thing with this universe. It just doesn't live up to their lofty expectations.
Right, but here's the thing, is there's always been a chance that Batman and Superman would show up on film. Now, I don't know about...
it was going to happen eventually.
I don't know about you, but I never expected to see Spider-Man in the MCU. And that first time I saw that trailer for Civil War and he shows up, it's like, holy fuck!
Yeah. That was Marvel dropping.
Batman versus Superman, whatever.
That was Marvel flopping their big dick on the
pretty
table
much.
And being like, yeah, you don't intimidate us, you know? And I do think they flinched. I do think DC moved the movie.
Fuck yeah. They were like, we need to get somebody interested in
this.
Again,
like from this point on, I think DC should have realized I think they did realize they made a mistake saddling up with Zack Snyder. Because they put themselves in this. And look, I have no opinion about Zack Snyder because I've never met the man. But the vibe that he puts off in his movies and his response online, he seems like a douche.
Well, whatever the case.
I'm not saying he is.
The movie finally did release on that date in March.
But I want to finish my point.
Sorry, I didn't.
And I'm saying that he attracts those kind of people to his stuff. And that I think that's where the issue starts. Is again,
I bet you him and Brett Ratner are great friends.
And then when you keep hearing shit like they moved the release date and they keep changing the release date, if you're the one that believes in the conspiracy theories, you're thinking, well, yeah, shit, they are scared of Marvel because they won't. They're scared of letting Zack have his true vision or some shit like that. That's the excuse they would give out. And you think I'm joking? That's a
I'm saying theme. Like I agree, but like here's the thing: is if you. As soon as you say this guy is a bad boy director of Hollywood right now, as soon as you say that, I don't want my girlfriend or my mom or my sisters or anybody female anywhere near that guy. Okay? Whatever the case, the movie finally did release on March 25th, 2016. The film grossed $166 million in the United States and Canada. Opening weekend, the 8th biggest opening of all time, ahead of Dark Knight Rises. The film had a worldwide opening of $422.5 million, which stands as the second biggest for Warner Brothers and the 5th biggest of all time at the time of its release. What's the biggest one? Do you know?
I still think the biggest one was Avatar, wasn't it?
Oh,
Or I think Endgame might have beat it.
boo! Oh no, 4 Warner Brothers. That wasn't.
Yeah. No, but
Endgame was. Yeah.
I don't know the
probably
Warner Brothers
Jurassic
thing.
Park.
I was talking about just box office in general there.
Jesus.
Miscommunication.
Fuck, man. It became it became the 4th film to have a global opening above 400 million, so they got that going for them. It also had an IMAX worldwide opening weekend total of 36 million from 945 IMAX screens, the 3rd biggest ever behind Star Wars The Force Awakens, 48 million, and Jurassic World, 44 million. However, both inside and outside the United States, Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice experienced a notable poor Friday to Sunday hold and set a new record for the worst Friday to Sunday drop for a superhero movie release in modern box office history, with a 58% decline, which was previously held by 2015's Fantastic Four. Now, to give you an idea of what that means, is that a bunch of people saw it on the Thursday midnight premiere and immediately went home and flooded social media with, "This movie sucks." and a lot of people listened. This is really where the beginning of a divide in the fan base. Some that loved it, some that hated it, some that didn't really care. We don't care about them. The ones that really loved it would start to form their own little sub-fandom, the start of the Snyder Cut.
And I want to, again, reiterate, if you want to see the fucking movie, I don't care.
I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to watch the movie.
Fuck yeah.
It's just when you post horrible shit when I'm mad
Look,
at you.
do you know that every Friday morning at 6 a.m. I'm awake watching the new episode of WandaVision? You damn right I'm going to watch that fucking movie. It'll probably be the day that it comes out.
Yeah. So Justice League, we're going to shift into that, and that's trouble production. So despite the backlash for BVS, DC decided to push ahead with Snyder and make the Justice League movie. So, yeah, this was a movie that they were committed to before the release of BVS.
Right, which is always a bad idea.
Yeah, I know. You can't, unless you actually have a blueprint, like the MCU did when they planned out all these fucking movies. That's the whole thing. You have to have a plan. You can't, and I understand that most of your audience for these movies, they're going to be people that already know these things, and and I do like that aspect of some of Zack Snyder's universe, of his DCEU, because I do like that it doesn't beat me over the head with these characters. It thinks that and it knows that I've engaged with these characters before.
Right.
So I do like some of that. That being said, why the fuck did you need to kill his parents in BVS? Because we have all seen that. Why is it that these movies have to show his parents being murdered all the time? We get it.
Well, here's real quick. Like,
sorry, that went on a tangent on why I was mad about that one scene.
Right now, what's concerning me about the MCU is the glut of TV series being greenlit. I think they're getting way too ahead of themselves. Unless they're all limited series and self-contained, I think they're going to get in trouble with themselves. Now, they got a guy in they got an architect of this multiverse, so I'm not worried about that. But you also got to understand that, when the Avengers movie came out, I didn't know what the next movie was going to be. I had no idea. I believe it was Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
Okay. I might have known about that, but I didn't know there was going to be, Thor 2. I didn't know about Winter Soldier until the, previews came out. Even Age of Ultron. I didn't know. Nobody knew the Guardians of the Galaxy and Ant-Man were coming.
If you notice, it wasn't until much later in the MCU when they would throw in Black Panther in the Civil War, and they'd put in characters that you aren't familiar with.
For a reason, they put them in with a purpose.
But they have a way for you to get in.
Fanboy.
Where they're showing, hey, we necessarily don't always have to go movie, then bring the character in. We could bring the character into the universe with a little bit.
And the way they did Black Panther was awesome because they introduced him as the character that he is, this regal badass, with the Panther suit,
Yeah.
And I think they did a really, really great job introducing him. And then, of course, the Black Panther movie is probably top 2 or 3 in the MCU.
Yeah. Dude, his chase on the Bucky on the motorcycle is one of the coolest fucking scenes in the movie.
Yeah, the whole.
Everybody talks about the airport scene. Nobody talks about the part where
Andy Serkis is really good too.
Well, Cap, Bucky, and Black Panther all fighting on that chase. That was fucking dope.
Oh yeah. In Civil War, that was really good.
Yeah. No, yeah, I loved the way they brought him in, and that's what I'm saying. They didn't do that until they were in Avengers 2.5 before they were like, hey, let's bring in this character. Let's bring in fucking Spider-Man because we can. You know?
Yeah.
And if they had the rights at that time, I guarantee they would have thrown some sort of X-Men reference somewhere.
No, and I'm excited to see how they do this because Fantastic Four and X-Men are on their way, but they're not going to fuck around with this shit this time. Anyway, so despite the backlash from BBS, DC decided to push ahead with Snyder and make the Justice League movie. Again, bad, just dumb. This was a movie they were committed to even before the release of BBS. And, on October 15th, 2014... Warner Brothers announced the film would be released in 2 parts, with Part 1 on November 17th, 2017, and Part 2 is announced, but release date not confirmed. That was right away, blood and water, you know? Oh, we don't know when the Part 2 is going to be released. So you don't know that there's going to be a Part 2 is what you're telling me. Why are you telling me there's going to be 2 parts then?
And so there's some truth to Warner Brothers being shaded in this production.
Yeah,
because they're a corporation.
They bought into, bought into Snyder's bullshit.
They would not budge on that November 17th release date because of tax reasons and incentives. So they pushed that movie out before it was ready.
I mean, the name is Cooper, the conspiracy scooper.
My dog had to potty.
There's a lot going wrong with this podcast.
Yeah, it seems like everyone is trying to stop us. I think it's, you know what it is? It's fucking the Snyder cult trying to cut us out, man, trying to stop us. So,
well, he was set to direct both films.
Yes.
I think. In early July 2015, EW revealed that the script for Justice League Part 1 had been completed by Terrio. Zack Snyder stated that the film would be inspired by the New Gods comic series by Jack Kirby. And that's where you fucked up again, because what are you talking about? Just say Darkseid, dude. No, because here's the thing. New Gods and Darkseid have gotten to a point now where Darkseid is like an integral part of the DC universe. I'm not saying the New Gods aren't.
He's like Superman's biggest villain. He's up there with Lex Luthor.
He is the biggest villain in the DC universe.
Yeah.
Okay, if you want to say Darkseid, just say Darkseid, because you're not going to have Steppenwolf, and you're not going to have Orion and Light Ray and Calabac and Desaad and all those dudes from New Genesis and Apocalypse.
Well, that's the thing. You got to explain that. You really have to go into the whole Apocalypse thing.
It's like he's thinking that. It's like an email. It's like an email I recently got from a boss of ours where it said, do you like to be nagged? And the whole email was nagging the fuck out of me. It's kind of like that. Yeah. And in the email, this person said, our audience is smart enough to know. And goddamn it, Zach, you should have goddamn known your audience is smart enough to handle, hey, Darkseid's going to be in the next one. Yeah. Great. Fucking problem solved.
Not even going to explain Apocalypse.
No.
We're going to vaguely do the parademon thing.
Right. So, yeah, basically, they just fucked that up. And then it just gets more fucked up. Although Justice League was initially announced as a 2-part film, with the second part set for release 2 years after the first, which we're still on the track of this might be still okay at this point.
Yeah.
Then, Snyder stated in June 2016, he stated that they would be 2 distinct separate films and not one film split into 2 parts, both being standalone, and that's just stupid. Why are you're jerking me around now? I don't even want to fucking see the movie.
It's literally Marvel doing Avengers and Age of Ultron immediately after that.
Right. Or saying Avengers, the Avengers movie is going to be split into 2 parts. Oh wait, you know what? No, Avengers is going to be Loki, and Avengers is going to be 2 is going to be Age of Ultron. So it's going to be different. Totally different.
While we're also trying to build the universe.
Once fumbling for
honestly. Yeah. Marvel used this tactic with Infinity War and Endgame, but that was planned years in advance. They were going to end up doing that no matter what.
The only thing we didn't know, is what the second one was going to be called.
Yeah.
For like the longest time, and they kept that under wraps for a long time, which is funny because it came out being exactly what a lot of people thought it would be, which is Endgame. Once filming for Justice League started, I did that on purpose. The movie seemed to suffer. DC wasn't really happy with the critical and fan response to Batman v Superman. A little fucking too late by this point.
It was in production of the sequel. It's kind of late to think that way.
It was reported that the rewrites by Jeff Johns caused issues with Chris Terrio and Warner Brothers executives. And right there, you got to. Warner Brothers was unsatisfied with how the film was shaping up under Snyder.
Which, again, way too late to make that decision.
Jesus, yeah.
And this is what fuels the toxic fan base that keeps feeling emboldened by this, because Zack's their guy. And it just seems like
it's a small-scale Trump thing. This one guy has gotten a lot of really stupid and really desperate, lonely people to believe his story.
Well, yeah, and
they're going to cause violence because of it.
And their mentality was, with this happening, with all this stuff, the troubled production of this movie, that one thing was happening, and it was Warner Brothers getting way too involved in trying to shovel this shit out, not caring about quality, clearly.
Oh, yeah. No, they just wanted to fucking market goddamn action figures.
Exactly. And that is valid. That is true. But their perspective is going to be, well, they're trying to silence Zack because they're scared. And it's not that they're scared. It's just, we made one movie that got okay reviews, and the second movie tanked. Like, people fucking hate that movie. By the way,
that's why you don't announce.
Civil War came out the same year. Remember they said about the dates shifting? They weren't flinching. They only made, I think, $800 million. And you had Civil War, who topped $1 billion.
Oh, yeah. Easy.
And that's because Marvel put in the work. You got to put in the work to get those
And it was a well-done fucking movie.
It made sense. There's so many...
You could take that movie as a fanboy spooge fest if you want. You can.
Yeah.
But there's a plot, and it's well-acted and well-directed and well-written. I mean, you could do it either way, but... I mean, DC, you just fucked it up. And then here we go with this caused numerous rewrites as Justice League was filming. Whedon was eventually hired by Warner Brothers. He then took over as director of the film after Snyder stepped down during the post-production, which the toxic cult really seized on. I hope you talk about this later. Filming wrapped in October 2016. We'll get into why he stepped down later. Joss Whedon's Justice League, which again, once this happened, I'm like, I don't care. I didn't see Justice League in the theater.
Yeah,
I actually
did. I remember,
not on purpose. I just never got around to it, and honestly, I knew it was going to be a clusterfuck. I just knew it. So I like it. I own it. I own the DVD, all that shit, the digital, the Blu-ray. With all the things, but I make it a point to see every Marvel movie in the theater with very limited exceptions. But DC, I almost never see it in the theater.
But I didn't see it opening night.
I'll buy it when it comes out.
I had to have surgery on my knee that weekend, so I didn't get to see it opening night.
Pussy.
But I saw it on a Sunday matinee, which just sucks, by the way. Never see these movies on a Sunday matinee. Well,
I love matinees, dude. I always
go. That's not true. I'm wrong, because the Marvel movies, they'll have people in there on Sunday.
Tuesday,
I like going opening night. I like the feel of it.
Ew.
Of seeing it before someone else. But
maybe if you're going on opening night and it's one of those places where you have assigned seating.
COVID is going to kill the theaters. So what does it matter?
In May 2017, Snyder stepped down from his directing duties after his daughter Autumn committed suicide. Now, what I was talking about is, do you talk about later how they think?
I don't have it written down, but I can refer. I know what you were talking about. So when this happened,
a little bit.
There was a group of people that came up with a conspiracy, and there's more, but there's a group of people that bought into this conspiracy theory that Marvel had his daughter killed. And that is just completely despicable and disgusting, and not at all true. And to say someone's suicide isn't true or isn't real is ridiculous and awful. And it's a fucking movie, guys. At the end of the day, it's a fucking movie.
Nobody killed somebody's daughter
over a fucking movie.
Yeah, but that's and unfortunately.
Now, some
I'm not going to say whether Zack Snyder has debunked or even acknowledged these rumors.
Dude, there's even images of I don't know if they photoshopped Zack Snyder's head on this or not, but it's a fucking shooting a Nazi or something, and they put Kevin Feige's head on there, and Kevin Feige's Jewish, so it's like Jesus Christ. There's some, and that's what I'm saying. Like, this is how is this related to our show? Well, this is what I'm talking about, where people get into, and this is a smaller scale because it's a movie, but this is how people get into buy into propaganda. And this is what our show is talking about. We talk about the truth of how when you don't accept reality, and you build these groups.
You're more susceptible to unreality.
Yeah, and and look, I'm sure some people could see the thing about the killing her daughter, think that's a joke. That's a really shitty joke.
All right.
But I could see how somebody could see that as comedy. But I feel like that wasn't. I feel like there are legitimately, and I've seen it on Twitter, on YouTube comments, everywhere.
Well, bottom line is, it's a fucking tragedy for this family. And as far as I think there were news reports that she had mental health struggles before then.
Yeah, and she committed suicide.
And this is
awful.
It's fucking awful. Yeah, to joke about that shit, we're not joking about that. We're saying that there are legitimately assholes out there who think that a movie was worth killing somebody's child.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's just bizarre. Anyway, Joss Whedon, blah, blah, blah. They spent $25 million on the reshoots for Joss Whedon, which is way more than, it's like almost 3 times as much as they generally do for reshoots. So you knew that was in trouble,
it's
too.
Usually $6 to $10 million for standard reshoot.
But this is where it just gets into a fucking dumb fucking bullshit here. The reshoots coincided with Cavill's schedule for Mission Impossible Fallout.
I forgot about the mustache.
Yeah. For which he had grown a mustache, which he was contracted to keep while filming. Okay. While Fallout director Christopher McQuarrie initially gave the producers of Justice League permission to have Cavill shave the mustache in exchange for the $3 million it would cost to shut down production on Fallout and then digitally fill the mustache in, executives from Paramount Pictures rejected the idea. So thanks, Paramount. You suck.
Just a stupid, petty high school response. Yeah, well, you got to give us money so he could shave his fucking mustache.
No, but then they were like, no amount of money.
Give it a week or two, and he's got the mustache
No
back.
shit, dude. Have you seen him with his shirt off? It's like a fucking carpet.
Just shave some of his chest hair and put it on his
shit, right? Motherfucker is probably of Greek descent, I'll bet. And I mean, look.
He's a beautiful man.
Typically her suit. Yes. Sorry. I'm not trying to offend anybody. Justice League's VFX team was then forced to use special effects to digitally remove the mustache in post-production. And from the results, it looks like they went to a high school class just learning animation.
It's like they got a tablet and they just erased it on a tablet and then
with a stylus
and did like a fucking deep fake. There's a conspiracy. It was a deep fake.
Yeah.
So.
Fucking Christ, people.
So at this point, the toxic base had been built. It's dug its feet in. All this trouble with this production gives them all the more reason to hate it. And we're going to go into stuff that happened this past summer with Ray Fisher. Now, we did address it at the beginning. And there have been other allegations of abuse on set of Joss Whedon. I'm not saying those...
He's Brett Ratner's other best friend.
Yeah. I'm saying I believe her that this is true. Now, as far as it seems like a very compelling argument for it to be true. I'm not ready to. I think she's probably telling the truth. I don't think someone would make that story up. You know what I mean? And to have that much detail of the really shitty things that he allegedly did to her. I don't think that somebody would make that up.
No.
So I trust what she says. And the reason I do is because she's very specific in her story, and she shows every, she has every scenario of what happened and how it happened and what made it feel. Ray Fisher doesn't give anything. Doesn't give anything.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take them as 2 separate stories.
Yeah.
And that is okay to do. And if Ray Fisher's telling the truth, then yeah, Joss Whedon's a shitty human and he shouldn't work. But he just hasn't given us evidence, and we'll explain that here. So, Ray Fisher versus Warner Brothers. In July 2020, Ray Fisher, or Cyborg, as you know him in the Justice League, claimed that, quote, Joss Whedon's on-set treatment of the cast and crew of Justice League was gross, abusive, unprofessional, and completely unacceptable, end quote. This would lead to Fisher starting a social media campaign for Warner Brothers to start an investigation into Joss Whedon. Fisher also went on to say the production was made worse after Snyder left. So again, there's a thought here that Ray Fisher and Zack Snyder are working together to get the Snyder Cut out, because Ray Fisher has said the reshoots severely cut his character, which by the looks of the trailers it did. Like the first couple trailers that we got, they look like they really cut down on Cyborg. Now, I don't know if it was because he was a dick on set. I don't know if there was...
you mean the Snyder Cut he's not in it as much?
No, he's in it a lot in the Snyder Cut.
Oh.
He got severely cut for the studio's Justice League. Yeah. And So I see that he would have an incentive to try to get that out. And I feel like this is kind of this push toward, because this, I think when this had started, it had already been announced, if I remember correctly, the Snyder Cut. So I think this was and I'm not trying to say the man wasn't abused. He very well could have, but he has not provided any evidence to believe he was.
As we read on, you'll understand what we're talking about.
So I could see the through line of that too. And that's one conspiracy I could buy into of this whole production, is that I think Ray Fisher and Zack Snyder are working together on social media to promote this movie.
Well, why do you think that, though, Jake?
Well, Fisher claimed that Whedon was enabled by two executives at the company.
Read the fucking words.
Jeff Johns and John Berg, who had since moved on from their co-president roles. Warner Media, the parent company of the studio, responded by launching an investigation into his claims. Fisher periodically posted criticism over how it was progressing and how current leadership was dealing with him, singling out current DC Films chief Walter Hamada. Warner responded by saying that Fisher wasn't cooperative in the investigation. Here's the thing that also gets me about this. When the most recent allegations came out, I can't remember her name. It's Charisma. I'm gonna look that up real quick. When she came out,
who did she play?
She was in Buffy and Angel. I know it's Charisma, but I'm gonna pull that up real quick. Charisma Carpenter. She was the one that came out with these allegations, and the difference in her response versus Ray's, where she was very specific on the allegations that she brought forward and the abuse that she had. He didn't say anything, and then when people pushed him on it, he said NDAs, man, NDAs. And then it came out that he was not under any NDA. I'd have to find a link for that, but it just reeks of something that's not telling the truth. It just feels like he's not telling the truth. I'm not saying he is or he isn't, but I'm just saying from what I've seen in his behavior and the fact that Warner has come out and said he wouldn't participate. And let's be honest, Warner is going to have a legitimate investigation of that because we are in a different time. We are in the Me Too era. We are the situations where now companies have to take this seriously and investigate this kind of harassment if it exists.
Yep.
So despite all this drama, Fisher was invited back to work on Zack Snyder's Justice League for HBO Max. Of course, Fisher had nothing but nice things to say about Snyder. He never accused him of any wrongdoing. In an interview with Forbes last September, Fisher said after voicing his complaints, he had become aware of more assertions of misconduct from others, although he held back on details. Quote, I plan getting much more specific about each of these guys after the investigation is over. This interview is just the abridged version, end quote.
Well, yeah, but when they were like, hey, behind closed doors, when they were like, hey, Ray, what's going on? He was like, I'm not telling.
Yeah.
And so it was like, well, you're saying you're going to get specific about these guys after the investigation over. Why don't you get specific about them now while the investigation is going on? And
why aren't you cooperating?
Unless you don't have anything to bitch about.
The thing that agitates me is
that's kind of where our brains are going now.
They went to a third-party investigator, and they said he didn't cooperate. Then he's posting videos that he did talk to the investigator, and she said he did cooperate and was great and whatever. Again, I don't know who's telling the truth anymore, and honestly, these are serious allegations, and you have to have evidence. You have to have believable accusations. You have to have something that someone can go on and investigate and figure out.
I know what you're trying to say, and let's boil it down to this because it's fairly simple to say it just like this. Look, if something happened to you, I believe you. But now you have to tell me what happened. If you're just going to say this person is mean and nothing else, then I'm not going to open a fucking investigation for you.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So I think that's fair to say.
Right.
Don't you think? Like, it's not that I don't believe you, but when I ask for details, so that will help me investigate your case.
Yeah, because
you give me nothing.
You don't want to.
Then go to hell.
Because it's a serious accusation, and you don't want to destroy someone's life.
And this is not victim shaming. This is, hey, you were a victim. I believe you. Now tell me how you were victimized so that I can correct this, so I can, punish somebody.
It's important that we take care of these.
I'm not telling. Well, then fuck off.
And it's important that we deal with harassment and these things the right way. It's important, and I don't think you're victim shaming either. I think you're just trying to say
I'm
that
saying like neither one of us.
We have to have evidence.
Right.
We have to have that.
Yes.
And we have to have accountability.
So on December 11th, Warner Media announced it had completed its examination of the claims and had taken, quote, remedial action, whatever the fuck that is. Fisher responded by posting that he had been contacted with this information by Warner Media and thanked fans who had supported him. But the actor did not say whether he approved of the outcome because he's being vague through this whole fucking thing. As the year drew to a close, he again went to Twitter to slam Hamada after a New York Times profile of the DC Films executive was published on December 27th. Calling him, quote, the most dangerous kind of enabler, Fisher also vowed, I will not participate in any production associated with him. Well, Ray, this was your first fucking movie, and I just got to be honest. Look, you literally just cut your legs off.
Yeah.
I'm never going to work on a Warner Brothers production again. Well, I don't know if you know this, but you know those little indie movie studios that you keep seeing in Sundance and shit? Those are owned by Warner Brothers, you moron. Yeah, so you literally just fucked your career, but okay.
And
I mean, is it really worth it? Why don't you tell us what happened, Ray?
yeah, we need to know what happened.
Okay? Yeah. So unless that happens, I have no sympathy for you. You literally dug your own grave. His first fucking movie role.
Yeah, and we don't know what happened. Were they just being mean, or because you were being difficult?
If something happened, tell us so
was
we
there
can
creative differences? What's going on? What happened?
Was there a shouting match? Because
and again, and I said it earlier. If this is true, if this is right, then
have you heard about
then yeah, you were harassed and fuck him.
Yes. Have you heard about what Hitchcock did to Tippi Hedren? No. You have? Yeah. Was it like that? Was it worse? No. Was it like no? Shut up then.
And again, this just added to that fan base and believing in that Warner. This was Warner Brothers keep trying to suppress this movie from coming out and all these different things.
When really it's just who the fuck is this guy and why is he talking? To wrap it all up, the company also defended its handling of Fisher's initial accusations. As, quote, as has been previously stated, an extensive investigation was conducted by an outside law firm led by a former federal judge who has assured Warner Media that there were no impediments to the investigation, end quote. This would eventually lead to Fisher being removed from the cast of The Flash. Now, just in closing, we're going to go on to the next part of it, which is the people going crazy and the what were they called? When people sign petitions. Online petitions and shit. But before we move on, just seriously, Ray, something really happened. Tell us what happened so that we can help you and get you treatment. Like therapy for that PTSD.
And make sure people and the proper punishments are handed out.
Right.
Yeah.
Like legally, this is a legal question now. Now you're pissing me off because now I don't believe anything illegal happened because if there did, you would tell me.
Right.
Now I think you're just not telling me because it's not that bad and you know that.
I think you should take what happened to Charisma Carpenter and Ray Fisher as two separate stories.
Right.
And again, I want to reiterate, I understand why she would support him because she experienced his abuse.
Right.
So that would make sense for, and I'm not saying she's wrong in doing so. I'm just saying.
And I'm not saying Ray Fisher is wrong. I'm just saying
we just need evidence.
Based on all the shit that we've seen so far, Ray, your standing is not very good.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, but it's really hard to believe.
If it's looking like these investigations with the judge and everything, and it doesn't look like there's actual legal actions that he had.
I support you if you were done wrong, but again, so just to reiterate
we want people to speak up about their abuse.
Right, of course, but
so release
you're
the
gonna have
Snyder
to tell the
Cut.
authorities stuff anyway. Yeah,
we are officially in the release the Snyder Cut phase.
Yep.
So after Justice League's initial release, Snyder fans dubbed it Justice League. Nailed them,
dude. They own the libtards.
Fans started an online petition to release the Snyder Cut. Now, I'll admit, I got wrapped up in this because
at first,
because this is a fun idea.
It sounded cool.
I want to see I love director's cuts. I love seeing different versions of BVS Ultimate Cut.
We're gonna dig deep into this a little bit.
Yeah, well, his director's cut of Watchmen is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
his Ultimate Edition of BVS, the 3-hour cut, makes a hell of a lot more sense than the theatrical release did, and I actually liked that movie. I liked the Ultimate Cut. It's just there's fucking 3 hours. But so
I just really before we move on, I just want to touch base with you. Like when it first came out about that, like if you were like me, all you were looking for is for the original shit that Snyder had already filmed,
because you're curious,
restored the way Snyder wanted to do it.
Yeah. And I think
did you think it was going to turn into this shit?
No.
That's why
honestly,
I don't support it anymore, because it's not a fucking Snyder cut anymore. It's a brand new movie.
Honestly, at this point, when I going in, like I was saying, I just want a different version of this. And
what he did originally.
Right. And you're right. It's the curiosity, because whenever a movie doesn't get made, or you can tell a movie has had heavy studio
release a Blu-ray or
I would
something.
love to see Joshua Trank's version of Fantastic Four, not the Fox version.
Yes.
So, I get that.
Right.
That's
right.
And that's what got me involved
Before they did the
Right.
reshoots? Oh, yeah, dude.
So fans wanted a faithful rendition of Zack Snyder's vision. This was started on social media with #release the Snyder Cut. This is possibly when the fandom started getting a little bit more cultish and toxic, and this is before fans had any knowledge that a cut of Zack Snyder's Justice League actually existed in any capacity.
And we do need to reiterate, there didn't exist one, because if there did, he wouldn't have had to redo like 8 hours of it.
Yeah.
Out of the 4 hours that we're going to see, I guarantee a 2.5 is brand new shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, then this isn't a Snyder cut anymore. It's a brand fucking new movie.
I think he's trying to say this is what my 2-part Justice League movie would have been.
Sure.
And he's just going to shove it into one movie.
Well, they're
releasing
is it a 4 hour long, or
they're releasing it as a 4-hour movie. There's no mini-series approach. It's just all one movie.
Fucking, I hope you're right there.
So the movement was
Zacky boy
was ignited by mixed reviews of the theatrical cut, as fans knew that Snyder left the directorial duties, and the final cut of the film was in the hands of Whedon. Thus, they assumed that Whedon created an inferior film, and the circumstances have since been compared to Superman 2 and the Donner cut and all that. I have no doubt that Joss Whedon had the final touch on this, but it's also a studio touch. Warner Brothers. Have you noticed that when you watch that first couple trailers, that it was still Zack Snyder's movie? Did you see how dark it was? Just like how it looked, not tone, just how it looked.
Yeah. And
then you just see how much brighter Superman's suit looked in Joss's Justice League.
Yep.
Because we want bright colors. We're simple lizard brain people. When we watch a superhero movie, we want to see spectacle. We want to see lights.
That's why your cereal is colored.
It's a fucking fireworks show.
Dumbass.
Dude, the Marvel movies are fireworks shows. That's all they are.
And here's real quick.
And they're good.
We should talk about, we should do like another episode involving these types of movies, because I'd really like to dive deeper into that Superman 2 shit. Because that is an interesting fucking story. But I digress. But
because this is the era of social media campaigns, fans took it upon themselves to get the Snyder Cut. In June 2018, fans reached out to executives at AT&T following a merger between the company and Warner. And so, what did they do? They just call their provider, being like, yeah, this is AT&T customer service. Release the Snyder Cut. Hang up. I guarantee you somebody did that. Because you know what?
That is really funny. Reached out to executives at AT&T.
Yeah.
Sure.
In June 2019, they reached out to the new Warner Brothers CEO, Ann Sarnoff, who replaced Sujihara, thank you, after his resignation.
Who's that?
That was the previous CEO.
That was Hamada.
No, Hamada's in charge of Warner Media.
Okay, all right.
It's a whole thing. Yeah. Following that up a month later with a mass letter writing campaign. And in July 2019, they reached out to parent company of Warner Brothers, Warner Media, after the announcement of its new streaming service, HBO Max. So, and look, honestly, I love what Warner has done with HBO Max, because HBO Max is where they're making it be where people can make vanity projects. Because why else would they have the Snyder Cut? Put it out on HBO Max. Put out all the animated DC movies we've made. So DC actually has, like, what they should have had with DC Universe, they actually have on HBO Max, and they have a stable infrastructure for DC properties. And it's pretty cool, and I like that. And I love the fact that they're putting the Snyder Cut out on HBO Max, and they're giving that vision out. And the fact that they released Wonder Woman 1984 the same, on Christmas, and like different ways that they're doing.
Still don't hate it nearly as much as all of you do. I'm not sure why you hate it. Not you.
Oh,
I'm saying
Wonder Woman 84.
In general, the consensus has been, what a mess. What was that?
Again, I think some of the criticisms are valid.
Most of the people, I just want to say, so you didn't have a good time watching that?
So
fuck yourself.
This is another thing that gets me. So we're going to move to the end of this with Snyder talking about how he's responding to the, quote, haters. And this is why
as soon as you start saying, I'm going to respond to the haters, you're a dick.
Yeah. What started as a fun hashtag,
and you know you are.
Unfortunately led to some toxic behavior. Cinema Blend had a report from Sean O'Connell.
Love that website.
O'Connell wrote the book, Release the Snyder Cut, the crazy true story behind the fight that saved Zack Snyder's Justice League. Could have just had Release the Snyder Cut as a title. I read that super long title just to point out how stupid it is.
Yeah.
He shared a conversation he had with Snyder.
It was an ebook.
That's what I hate about authors.
Never published.
Authors are the fucking worst.
Right?
Because they got to write these super long-ass titles. And it's only the authors that are talking about like non-fiction writers.
You don't want to know what the original
I'm kidding.
title of my
I'm having
book
fun
was.
with it. But seriously, though.
Nah, fuck you guys.
This should have just been Release the Snyder Cut.
Yeah, right?
He shared a conversation with Snyder, and this was the accusations of toxic fandom. He brought it up. He said, here's what Snyder says, quote, I just think that that's sour grapes. There's really no other way to say it. We know the people who were the architects of this narrative, and it's pretty obvious what their agenda is.
Stopping bad movies?
Those are people that I've been held back from confronting by wiser people in the room.
Zack, you're a pussy, and they're all bigger than you.
Because I'd love to get at some of these characters.
No, you wouldn't.
Quote. So again, you could see how douchebag people are attracted to this guy, right? And how they like him. Because
why, Jake? Why are douchebags attracted to this guy?
Well, because he's refusing to admit that his movie could suck.
I was gonna say because he's a douchebag.
Well, that, but it's also because he's saying that like he's trying to block this movie from criticism. Because he's saying these people had an agenda. And who else has been saying that? His fucking fans. That was his shot across the bow to them to be like, I got your back, buddy.
Right. And somebody could, he's inciting shit. And somebody could look at this episode of ours and go, a minute ago you were talking about how terrible tragedy happened to Zack Snyder, and then a minute later you're talking about how much of a douchebag he is. Well, guess what? Douchebags suffer tragedy too.
Yeah, no, yeah. He's a human being.
The fact that he's a fucking complete douchebag has nothing to do with the fact that is a horrible thing to happen to anybody.
Yeah, he's a human being.
And I think that sucks that happened to him.
Yeah.
And if there's any way that I could bring his daughter back for him, I totally fucking would.
So Snyder would continue.
But he's still a douchebag.
Yeah, Snyder would continue his defense of the Snyder Cut fans. He saying they haven't. He was having none of it, and he cited the fan base recent work. I was reading my own terrible writing. Fan base recent work was raising money for suicide prevention. So again, this is true. This happened. They raised money for his suicide prevention. I think it was Zack Snyder has a foundation for it.
That's cool.
So it was some sort of charity.
Obviously near and dear to his heart.
Yeah, and that's good.
Yeah,
that's
awesome.
good. And I think the people that mostly donated to that aren't the toxic fan base we're talking about.
Yeah,
they're normal human beings.
Maybe one or two of the people out of the millions of people that we're talking about,
Yeah.
like one or two.
So Snyder said, quote, how is that toxic fandom? They've probably achieved more than any other fan base and done more good than any other group.
Gee, what does that do to your base if you're trying to rile them up?
Yeah, and again, he would keep going on to say it was sour grapes and bullshit. Is why the whole thing didn't come out.
You know,
Not the fact that the people didn't like your other movies.
You know what I said a lot when I was a young stupid motherfucker under the age of 30? Bullshit.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
I'm an
Bullshit.
artist. Yeah.
And guess what? Nobody fucking cares, man.
Yeah.
Nobody fucking cares.
So Tyler, let's bring it home.
Let's bring it home, baby. Bring it on home. What, bucko? What? Why are the fans called toxic? Well, for many in the media, it's for harassing, threatening, and cyberbullying those who express opinions about the Snyder Cut that are contrary to their beliefs, i.e., it's not going to be that great. Johanna, actually, it could be really awesome, and I hope it is.
Like a movie and be excited for a movie, but don't talk about fucking Marvel killing people so the movie won't come out and saying that Joss Snyder is being silenced or some shit.
Right.
Like, stop it.
Yes.
Stop it.
Johanna Desta of Vanity Fair broadly described the act of fans demanding an alternative cut as, quote, a modern pattern of audience demand that is actively making fandoms more toxic, and compared it to the 2017 harassment of Star Wars The Last Jedi actress Kelly Marie Tran, which we just talked about. I had no idea that she was in this story at all.
No, yeah, but
she's not in the story, but
it's in the Vanity Fair article.
That's fortuitous that I brought that up. Yeah, that fucking still pisses me off. that if I'm a kid growing up, and I don't know that much about Kelly Marie Tran, but I'm willing to bet she was a Star Wars fan because a lot of kids are. And I mean, I can't imagine like finally getting a role in like my dream role in Star Wars, and then like turning on my Twitter one day to see what my friends are up to, and just seeing millions of horrible fucking people saying horrible things about you.
So at the end of the day, it doesn't matter to these companies if your fan base is toxic. Fan base is toxic because then they know they can make money off of it. So they'll put out the Snyder Cut because they know. And look, I'll watch it. But they're obviously putting it out because they know they have an audience for it,
fuckers on
and
Twitter.
they don't care how they behave.
I ain't gonna watch it because of any of these fuckers on Twitter. That's for sure. Journalists are subjected to the kind of harassment experienced by Kaylee Donaldson of Pajiba through email, online comments, and direct messages on social media. In September 2018, former DC Entertainment president Diane Nelson deleted her Twitter account after substantial online harassment by members of the movement. Interesting that the 4 people we just talked about were all women.
Also, it's worth noting that
what we mean by that is most of these toxic fuckers are douchebag men,
and these comments
are
are always like kill yourself, you deserve to fucking die, put a bullet in your head. Like they're like death threats, like horrible comments.
Horrible things that you don't think about another person, let alone say
for a
to somebody
movie,
else.
guys, for a fucking movie.
Yeah. But Warner Brothers telephone operators inundated with regular calls about the quote Snyder Cut.
Remember I told you? Yes, AT&T customer service. What can I help you with?
We're trained.
No, you got to do it. What can I help you with?
I want you to fucking release the Snyder Cut.
Oh, thank you very much.
No, you stay on the line,
sure,
bitch.
We're gonna end this.
Release the Snyder Cut. Inundated with regular calls about the quote Snyder Cut, we're trained to treat these inquiries as prank calls. Members of the movement, but they were trained to also keep track of how many people called in doing that.
Yes, and their address and surveil them the rest
with
of
a dollar sign. Cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. Yeah. Members of the movement tracked down Justice League stuntman Richard Cetrone to ask him questions about the Snyder Cut.
How do they even know he was how do they know the fucking stuntman?
Because they're creeps.
Yeah, exactly.
Only to digitally alter his response and spread on social media a fake text message that appeared to support their cause.
Oh my God.
Wow.
You guys.
You know how much greatness you could do for the world if you actually gave a shit about anybody else but your own tiny little penis world?
Why are they rallying around
My
this
dick is
movie?
small. Well, fucking get over it and fucking, do something for the community.
I want to watch emo Superman and murdering psychopath Batman fight Darkseid.
Fuck off.
Yeah. So the whole point of this episode was talk about something that we care about and something in nerd culture that we really love. And just how how anything can radicalize people online anymore, and how bad it's gotten. So I think it's a cautionary tale to, and most people that listen to this are the people that just want to see the movie and are interested in it, like we are,
right?
Or people that hate it and don't really care and want to see it. That's totally fine.
Look,
too.
man, if Warner Brothers would have come out with a poll and said, "Hey, look, if we get a certain amount of yes responses to this, we'll go ahead and do it. But do you guys really want to see a Snyder Cut?" I would have voted for it.
Yeah.
I would have been one of the yeses. I would have hoped. I wouldn't have started bullying other people into voting for it because that's what I want. Because that's not what human beings do. You fucking idiots.
All right.
Sorry.
There's your outburst.
See, I'm talking to not our listeners. I'm talking to people, and I feel bad for our listeners because they're like,
I think it's been.
Stop calling me an idiot, Tyler.
I think
I'm not.
No, I think the point's been made.
Okay.
We're obviously talking about a certain group of people that are very toxic people.
Because I love our audience.
Should really do some self-reflection because while they think it might be funny to post these things and just trolling, no. I mean, some things hurt, and to minimize a child's suicide, to attack people and tell them to go kill themselves and harass people for writing articles
while simultaneously making a conspiracy theory about how they killed somebody to make it look like a suicide,
or
irony,
or leaving nasty comments on fucking YouTube videos.
Dickheads.
Stupid. It's stupid. It's all dumb. Just enjoy the movie. It's okay to be excited for a movie, everybody. And I know we'll be watching it when it comes out to HBO Max.
Maybe we'll do a commentary.
Oh, God. 4 hours? Oof.
Hey, we're going to do the 3-hour Mike Lindell.
It's only 2 hours.
Oh.
So there you go. I don't know.
Did you hear that, guys?
Yeah, I don't know when we're. Oh, dude, it's boring as hell.
I know.
I don't know when we're gonna do that, but we will definitely.
Maybe we'll just do like a 10-minute segment because that might be all we can handle.
Maybe we'll see. So
Listen here, it's a scam. Your pillow? No.
Absolute Proof. That's the name of the fucking movie. Absolute Proof. Thank you so much for listening to another episode.
Love you guys. Thank you for stopping by again.
Tinfoil Radio. Hopefully you learned a little something about the internet fandom.
And that's I was gonna say one more thing. There are a lot of people that you probably know, that I know, and that Jake knows. Like in general, you out there, you probably know at least one person in your life who has a really bad habit of posting something immediately after they're really pissed about something else.
Yeah, I mean, I've done it.
And please, so have I.
Yeah.
But please, let's all do our best. It's kind of like when you start working at a job and they're like, these types of t-shirts are not okay. And if you have a question about it, it's probably not okay. You ever seen that?
Yeah.
Okay. It's the same thing with if you're about to post something that could potentially be really, really awful, make sure you really want to post it before you post it.
And think about the damage you're doing.
Give yourself 5 minutes, dude. Please.
And don't let get swept up in the subreddits.
And I've done it. Oh, yeah, I have. And I wish I would have told myself.
Well, thanks so much for listening to another episode. We will be back next week.
Let me get off my soapbox here. All right.
Yeah.
Start loving me.
No, see, I can't. That's that. Who's going to...